Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian at supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of A Walk in the Woods, which is the big screen adaptation of the comedic non-fiction book written by Bill Bryson. So let's get right into it. First up, of course, I should state I haven't read the original book by Bill Bryson, so I'm basically just going to be judging this film solely as a film rather as an adaptation. And I will say to start off with that one of the things that I was interested about to check out this film is, of course, the cast, which of course has Robert Redford, Nick Nolte, Emma Thompson, Mary Steenburgen, and a few others. And just having that sort of combination of actors together in a film like this is going to sound intriguing to me as a viewer, because I admire and really like these actors, and I've really liked a lot of their work in the past. So the whole idea of having this cast together, and particularly Robert Redford and Nick Nolte, the fact that this is kind of mostly a film about their two characters and their relationship towards each other, I think for me was definitely the selling point. And I also like the premise as well, is just basically these two sort of older guys who basically just go on a journey through the Appalachian Trail in America and sort of their adventures along the way. So in that regard, that was what kind of made me really interested to check it out. And I will say, while I think there are some good qualities about the film, but unfortunately, as a film overall, I just found it to be kind of average. And I think the main reason for that is both the direction by Ken Kwapis and as well as the screenplay. And for those who are out there who don't know who Ken Kwapis is, he's directed a lot of films in the past. He directed the Big Bird film, Follow That Bird, and as well as other films like Dunstan Checks In and Beautician and the Beast, The Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants, He's Not That Into You, License to Wed. So he's directed a lot of films, but he's also directed a lot of sort of TV shows as well, like The Larry Sanders Show, The Bernie Mac Show, The Office, Malcolm in the Middle, and so on and so forth. So he's definitely a director who's directed a lot of sort of comedies in the past, whether for film and TV. And I think, in a way, I can see why the producers behind this film, one of which being Robert Redford, would have chosen him to direct this film because of his comedic background. Because this film is a comedy, and unfortunately, I just found his direction to be rather uninspired and a bit pedestrian, to be honest. And in a way, it just made the film feel very TV sitcom-y in a lot of ways, and they just didn't feel, even though there are some sort of, gorgeous shots of the Appalachian Mountains and all that, but unfortunately it lacked a bit of, other than those great, cool, beautiful wide shots of the scenery and all that, when it comes to, it just didn't feel that cinematic as a film, and I feel like this is a film that kind of needed that. And while sort of researching this film, other directors who were either were attached or in talks to direct this film, like Christopher Columbus, Richard Linklater, Barry Levinson, Larry Charles. These guys were all at one time either attached or in talks to direct it. I feel like those filmmakers probably would have done a much better job with this film. And not only did I feel like Ken Kwapis' direction was a bit rather pedestrian and a bit bland, a lot of the sort of the film's humor kind of just fell flat, and I just didn't find a lot of it all that funny. I think it's just more of the execution of it, to be honest, rather than anything. And I feel like it just didn't really, and I can see what he was trying to go for with a lot of the humor, at least how jokes and all that was set up, but unfortunately a lot of them just fell flat, and it's just a very flatly directed film. And sort of the screenplay, which is okay, but I feel like there could have been a bit more to it, because the film is really about the relationship between both Robert Redford and Nick Nolte's characters, and their friendship, and the discussions of life and love, and all the things and what's happened to them throughout the years, and particularly with their friendship. I feel like there's a lot of great sort of stuff the film could have delved into, but I didn't feel like the script actually did that enough, or at least for me in a way. So in that regard, I feel like both the direction and the script were just kind of average. But it's not to say that the film doesn't have its good qualities. Like I said, the cast are really good. I mean, both Robert Redford and Nick Nolte are both pretty solid. It's not like their best work as actors, but they do both solid work nonetheless. And also the supporting cast, which a lot of them are basically just extended cameos, like Mary Steenburgen and Nick Offerman and Kristen Schaal. They're basically their characters are basically on screen for like maybe 5 minutes or so, but you know, they make the most of their roles, and they actually do make their characters very memorable, particularly Kristen Schaal and also Emma Thompson, who plays Robert Redford's wife. I thought she did a pretty solid job with her performance as well, and it is watchable. Like, it's definitely a movie that you can just sit back and enjoy, like on a Sunday arvo, but it's not really one that you can go out to the cinema, like you rush out to the cinema to see. But overall, it's watchable, but it's just a pretty average film. There's nothing really particularly memorable or insightful, or really, like, it has its funny moments, but you know, it's not as funny as it could have been. And I kind of feel like I said before, I think if the script was better written, and also if the direction was better as well, I think it probably would have been a really solid film. But overall, it just ends up being a pretty average one, even though it does have its good qualities. So if I had to give A Walk in the Woods a rating, I'd give it about 2.5. Like, it's watchable, but just a pretty average comedy overall. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of A Walk in the Woods. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone.